My name is Thomas Lovehart, and I'm running for office as a progressive independent in a plus 52 Republican district. That means my race is an extreme long shot. In order to win, I would need to flip 30 points that went to Republicans in the last election to vote Democrat this election. Part of the reality for any left-leaning person running for office in a district like this is that you're going to need some Republicans to vote for you. And that means appealing to Republicans. But it doesn't mean softening your message. The truth is that right-wing people like progressive policies, but they also respond really negatively to the culture war slop that has twisted the conversation. I will never compromise on my defense of marginalized people, and I will always fight for equal rights and continued progress in our struggle for freedom. But across the political spectrum, people care more about affordability and wages and healthcare than they do about pronouns. So when I'm talking to Republicans and I'm trying to convert them to vote for somebody that they probably never would have imagined themselves supporting, I focus on affordability. I tell them about social housing, which is going to lower housing costs and rents across the county. I tell them about expansions to Medicaid, which is going to lower healthcare costs for Republicans and Democrats across the county. I talk to them about ranked choice voting, which is going to weaken the two-party system and allow for better representation so that we're not choosing between the lesser of two evils, but actually choosing the candidate that best represents us in every race. I tell them about my plan to protect public lands and to keep our air and our water clean so that our children and generations after can enjoy the beautiful natural landscapes that make Utah, Utah. And I tell them that many of the Republicans that pretend to share their family values and their conservative values are lying. They're manipulating what you care about so they can get your vote, so then they can turn around and pass giant tax cuts for corporations that are destroying Utah, and subsidies and tax breaks for development and real estate companies that are making it impossible for you to afford a home in your hometown. I tell them that if we want Utah to keep being the Utah that we know and that we love, then we need to do something today so that it doesn't transform into a permanent low-wage renter's economy. Real Americans value the principles that this country was founded on. That's freedom, justice for all, equality. And I'll be the first to admit that both parties have been captured by special interests that want to erode those freedoms and want to take away our rights. But that's why we need to elect candidates that are outside of that two-party system, independents that actually represent us. The Republican-controlled legislature in Utah consistently and constantly votes against your interests. They listen to what the people are saying and then choose to completely ignore it and legislate in their own agenda however they want. So if you're somebody that voted for Trump because you wanted affordability or you cared about gas prices, look what the tariffs have done. They've permanently raised prices. All those companies are getting refunds and they're never bringing those prices back down. Gas is going from $2.80 a gallon to $5.80 a gallon in the next month. We've been funding a 3-year carpet bombing campaign in Gaza against women and children. Now your tax dollars are paying for the same thing in Iran. And the tech billionaires who paved the way for Trump's second term are making out like bandits while the rest of us deal with permanent inflation and a future that promises to displace millions and millions of jobs with no replacement. And we've seen a Department of Justice that is not advocating for justice, that is instead trying to cover up the crimes of extremely powerful, extremely wealthy child molesters. This is not America first. This is not what you voted for. And if you care more about mass deportations and high school trans athletes, then you are a perfect servant of the culture war, a perfect servant of the corporate media that has twisted your brain into cheering on a corrupt, disgusting administration while they sell out your country to the highest bidder. But for the rest of you, I know this isn't what you voted for, and I want to invite you to fight back this November by rejecting this administration and electing someone to the Utah House that will actually fight for you, that will actually fight for affordable housing, better wages, better jobs, a quality, well-funded public education for your children, clean air and water, ranked choice voting, community-owned renewable energy, accessible, affordable healthcare, and an end to the corruption and corporate subversion of our democracy. My name is Thomas Lovehart, and I'm running for Utah House District 71 against the Republican incumbent Rex Ship, the incumbent who represents the status quo. And if you want something better, to create a Utah by and for the people, then vote for me, and I promise to work for you.